Court of London Authority. Court of London Authority against Haddock. Haddock against the Commissioners of Police. The Commissioners of Police against Haddock.
My Lord, these four cases, which by consent are being heard together, arise out of an episode which, with a minimum of common sense, need never have reached even the ear of the magistrate.
We can't hear you both at once.
Well, I claim it is my right to begin, my lord.
I fancy I heard Mr. Haddock's name called first.
It all depends on which appeal was entered first.
Yes, but I've had some experience of Mr. Haddock's legal agility. He's very quick off the mark.
You're appearing in person, are you?
Yes, my lord, I am.
Why?
Well, I suppose Mr. Haddock's answer to that is that every subject of the Queen has a right of audience in Her Majesty's courts.
But the courts of appeal are only concerned with pure points of law.
Yes, but I fancy Mr. Haddock's answer to that one is that he knows a great deal more law than some lawyers.
Perhaps my learned brother would allow Mr. Haddock to speak for himself.
But that's exactly what I'm suggesting he should be allowed to do.
Well, which appeal was entered first?
We're all entered at the same time, my lord.
If I may say, my lords, I have no objection.
Be quiet, sir. Don't interrupt.
I just want to say I don't mind Sir Joshua telling you about the case.
Sit down, sir. What was that you said?
Mr. Haddock very graciously yielded to his opponent. I only wish all professional lawyers were as courteous.
My lord, these four appeals arise out of a hearing before a Metropolitan Magistrate when Mr. Haddock was twice convicted and twice acquitted of various offences.
Twice acquitted, twice convicted. Surely once was enough.
There were obviously four offences. He was acquitted twice and convicted twice. I should have thought that was plain.
No, you must bear with my slow mind, Sir Joshua.
As your lordship pleases. The prosecution is appealing in the two cases where Mr. Haddock was acquitted, and Mr. Haddock is appealing in the two cases where he was convicted. I will first tell your lordships how these charges came to be preferred. On the 13th of June last year, Mr. Haddock was walking across Hammersmith Bridge with his wife. A regatta was about to take place in the river below when there was some dispute.
Just a moment. I know that, properly speaking, it's correct for Sir Joshua to tell us about the incident, but Mr. Haddock does happen to be present. Surely it would be more sensible to let him do the telling.
I don't agree.
I entirely agree.
Sir Joshua?
But I have no objection, my lord.
Mr. Haddock.
Oh, well, my lords, my wife, you see, was questioning the virility of a man of my years. So naturally, to prove her wrong, I dived over the bridge and swam to the shore. Now, immediately I came to the riverbank, I was hauled off to a police station where a number of charges were laid. I must admit that the police sergeant had a terrible time of it, trying to find out what he could charge me with. He knew in his bones that I'd done something dastardly, but he couldn't make up his mind what it was. He had quite a few goes at it.
Are you saying, Mr. Haddock, that there were more charges originally?
Oh, yes, Lord bless my soul, there were, yes. He tried, let's see, what did he try? Well, he tried polluting a watercourse under the National Health Act of 1875 and attempting to pull down a bridge under the Malicious Damage Act of 1861. He even tried attempted suicide, until I pointed out to him that people bent on suicide by drowning do not, when they surface, strike out methodically for the shore.
No, no they don't.
I don't see any occasion for laughter. The police sergeant was clearly doing his duty.
My brother Ada is quite right, Mr. Haddock. You did place the police in a most embarrassing situation. In future, may I suggest that when you want to do something unusual, and therefore likely to attract the attention of the police, do try and pick on something that is recognizable as a crime. Because otherwise it's simply most unfair that the police should be put to all the trouble of inventing reasons why you should be arrested. Do you see that?
I do, my lord. Thank you very much for explaining.
That wasn't what I meant at all. Now, which charges were finally brought?
Well, causing an obstruction, being drunk and disorderly, endangering the lives of mariners, and interfering with an organized regatta. I was acquitted on the second and third charge and convicted of causing an obstruction and interfering with an organized regatta. I was fined £2 on each charge.
So, Mr. Herrick, you were not drunk, nor did you endanger the lives of mariners.
No, my lord.
Well, that at least disposes of the more serious charge.
On the contrary, obstruction is a very serious charge in these congested days. Let us take that charge first, may we?
Yes, yes, indeed.
On what grounds do you base your appeal, Mr. Herrick? The evidence given at the trial states quite clearly that large numbers of people gathered round you on the towpath.
Yes, but I didn't ask them to. In fact, I didn't want them there. I'll go further. I would say that I objected to them being there.
But your flamboyant behaviour attracted them, did it not, Mr. Herrick?
Well, I imagine your answer to that, Mr. Herrick, is no, it didn't.
No, it didn't. Oh, all right then. No, it didn't.
Would you kindly explain what you mean?
Oh, no, it didn't. I should think it means no, it did not.
No doubt. The point that you're about to make, Mr. Haddock, and a very good point in my view, is that you did not attract the crowd for the simple reason that the crowd was there already.
Yes,
you know, he's
exactly
absolutely right. Well, the crowd, you see, had assembled to watch the regatta.
Yes, yes, I take that point. It is fairly obvious.
No, I feel like a dummy being operated by three ventriloquists.
What do you say about the drunken disorderly charge, Sir Joshua?
Well, I consider the case should go back for retrial, my lord. The learned magistrate allowed evidence to be given that was clearly inadmissible.
What was it?
Well, Mr. Haddock called a gentleman named Mr. Tozer who dived off the end of the pier at Brighton.
What on earth had that got to do with the charge?
Well, you see, my lords, the prosecution made a big point of the fact that any man, literally any man, who dives off a bridge fully dressed must be drunk. Well, I brought Mr. Tozer to prove that there could, in fact, be other reasons.
And what were this Mr. Tozer's reasons?
A prophet, my lord. He's known professionally as the Flaming Torch. You see, the surface of the sea is set alight with petrol, and Mr. Tozer dives in, manacled, bound with chains, and with his feet in a sack.
Good heavens. How extraordinary. Do you mean to say, Mr. Haddock, that he can extricate himself in time?
Oh, yes, my lord, he can.
Of course, that's a silly question, isn't it? I mean, he must be able to if he's done it more than once. All the same, I don't know how he managed. Did he tell you?
Apparently, my lord, from what I can gather, his dive, you see, puts out the flames. But how he manages to get out of his assorted ironmongery, I'm afraid, is a trade secret.
Oh, what a pity. Well, anyway, Mr. Haddock, you're saying that he's sober when he does this, and he's never been arrested for doing it, has he?
No, my lord, that's exactly what I'm saying.
But that doesn't make the witness any more relevant, does it, Mr. Haddock?
Ah, well now.
To which you are no doubt about to reply, Mr. Haddock, that the prosecution was singularly lacking in relevant witnesses. I mean, they produced no witness to testify that you were swimming in a disorderly manner or making unseemly splashes. Nothing in